Here we are. We are live. Usually we go on Wednesday nights. This week we're back on Thursday night. And Buddy and I are a little late. We were watching the LSU softball game, team fall to Florida State, first round of a 3-game set at the Super Regional in Baton Rouge. So now the Tigers got to bounce back and win 2. Of course, LSU baseball bounced out of the SEC tournament on Tuesday, and that that comes just 24 hours after everybody watched Hold the Rope, the Skip Bertman documentary, and kind of gives you an idea of where this program is at and where it used to be. And so we wait to see now if LSU is going to get a regional bid. I know we're some games to watch, but LSU's RPI seems to be slipping a little bit, and I think needing Florida to win in the SEC tournament, beat Alabama. So we're going to see what takes place there. Of course, we're just a week away from the recruiting dead period ending on June 1st. So lots to talk about. Football, basketball, baseball, you name it, we got it here for you at TigerBait Live. Buddy Songy with me, of course, tonight. And, of course, we're brought to you by Pride Roofing, who we're going to talk about later in the show. I'm glad to have them as our major sponsor of this show each and every week. So what say you, buddy?
Cheers to you. I apologize to a couple of guys who had changed their schedule to be on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is date night for me, and of course it's summer and everybody's going to the beach, and we have all this stuff going on with the culmination of Paul Mainieri era and LSU baseball. Softball, man, what a game, 1-0. Great game, great crowd out at Tiger Park. LSU, first 3 football games in prime time. We finally get a time, 7:30 out in the Rose Bowl. Of course, if you're over there in LA, it'll be 5:30 local time. And then as we talked about the high schools and getting back to normal, but I tweaked the schedule this week for Thursday, but we'll try to stick. I think the guy was missing church, and so just to see us. I don't know if it's worth that. Make sure you have a great relationship with your maker. But look, it's interesting, it's exciting, and I think the next month a lot will happen here in Tigertown.
No doubt, no doubt. It's look, it's I was at Charlie Hannegriff is going to have his last show tomorrow. Of course, his everyday show is not going to be anymore, and he's moving on to a new career, and good luck to him. And so I'm going to go to his final show tomorrow at Ruffino's. But on hand there today, you had Rabelais and Cobble, and I've just been asking around, and I still cannot find a media member who definitively will say that Mainieri will be back as the coach next year. So O'Sullivan at Florida was the hot name a month ago, and then it kind of died down a little bit, and now he's back again. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens and how. Of course, look, if LSU doesn't make a regional, you're still going to have to wait for other teams to play, because whoever's going to be on LSU's hot board, whoever Woodward's going after, they're still going to be playing. So, but I think we're weeks away from a new coach.
Well, first of all, I want to wish Charlie the best of luck. He's another one of our media members who certainly married up, and we're happy to know Tracy and see Tracy and Charlie be so happy. Charlie's jumping in the deep end of the swimming pool. I think he'll come out fine and be a great success, consummate professional at what he does, and we've always gotten along, even through the years on competing stations. But, a honey bun or whatever you call him, everybody's got a story with Charlie, and it won't be the same. But, look, he'll still do some pregame and postgame and be with Jimmy at times.
Yeah, well, I heard him on, was out in my vehicle. I heard him on with Jimmy tonight. He's going to continue to do, I think, a couple of nights a week. He's going to do his postgame show on Eagle, and I think he's going to dabble in a bunch of other little things. So he's got a lot going on. So.
Yeah, back to the comment about Coach Mainieri, and I think that we have seen it, we've talked about it, and we give a lot of different parallels, but I just don't know how much gas is left in the tank for him personally and for this 2021 baseball team. They've lost 3 of their last 5, including one A&M, one Northwestern, and then getting shut down by Georgia 4-1. Look, SEC is loaded this year. We all know that. You're probably going to have 4 of the top 8 national seeds coming from the conference. But you made a great point earlier, and I really noticed this when you saw the filming and the production and the excitement and the cutting edge. And I mean, everything that LSU was doing, whether it was a long ball with 188 home runs or whatever, those were, man, look, you expected to go to Omaha, and of course it took a while for them to win it the first time with 91, but 91, 93, 96, 97, 2000, I was there in 2000, and it was truly magical. Of course, Maneri had his championship in 09, but Mike, that's 12 years away. And you know, you're at a place 15 years and 12 years since now granted, they got the bad break in 17 against Florida because of Eric Walker and the injury.
Right.
But it's a tough business, and I think also some health is involved in here. I think some medical issues. So we hope that it works out classy and the right way. And I do think that that will come to fruition here. And whether or not it's O'Sully or not, look, you know, Tadlock was a guy from Texas Tech. They locked him up, and Schlossnagel and Cliff Godwin and of course Tony Vitello, a lot of hot names. But I'm with you. I think if I had to go to Vegas right now, I think Kevin O'Sullivan, who, by the way, has taken Florida to Omaha 7 of the last 10 years. They've only won it once, but you realize Arkansas has never won it. Now, you talk about LSU with 6. LSU fans are very prideful, but they also remember those good days. And, man, seeing Hold the Rope brought all the good feelings in your belly towards LSU baseball, which you have had none of this year, unfortunately.
Well, I tell you what, I watched the documentary. I've seen it 3 times. I was there Sunday night at Ronnie Rance in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, did a premiere night at La Berge, and him and the Bengal Bells did an amazing job. I messaged Buddy, was fussing at him because I thought he should have been there, and he didn't want to. He said he liked to relax on Sunday nights, but man, it was just. I've been to a lot of events in my lifetime, and a lot of little banquets, and that was just off the chain. And flying the director down from New York City, and then there was bonus footage of about 25 minutes that he set up, and he got Skip to comment on. And I really think they need to make a Blu-ray or a DVD of that and sell it to the public with the bonus materials, because I think there's a lot of people in town that would like to buy that. So
yeah.
But he had never experienced an event like that, the director.
Yeah.
And I think LSU might have started, you know, something that, you know, from here on out with SEC story type of things, where they can say, you know, look what LSU did. You know, kind of like the old recruiting bash. It's like everybody mimicked it after the fact. But I think in future SEC story, where they like to do several a year, you know, they can say, hey, you can, you know, have an event like this and raise money for whatever your pet project is.
The only problem with that, Mike, is that there aren't many fan bases that are like LSU. I think that is what attracts coaches. Look, Kim Mulkey wasn't going to leave Baylor, regardless if they had infighting or not, regardless if she was happy with the court being downtown and not on campus, regardless. They hit a home run when they brought in Kim Mulkey, and they're going to shoot for the stars. And we know Will Wade is being very active in the transfer portal. Everybody is kicking their game up a notch. Bob Moore, by the way, the best vault coach in all of gymnastics for about the last 20 years at LSU. He's retired. We know that it's just time for Coach Maneri. And look, I mentioned this with Dale Brown. I don't think Coach Brown would get mad at me saying, but the last 5 years he was at LSU, a total of 25, but the last 5 put a stain on what he did the first 20. And I think as you look at this, they lost to Florida in 17, but it started to go downhill. 18, 19, of course, COVID last year, and this year. You just can't have 4 bad years and all the same mistakes and not be able to keep the people in Baton Rouge happy, because baseball is big in Baton Rouge.
Well, let me ask you this.
LSU baseball.
Let's say it comes down and LSU's being debated, one of the last 2 or 3 to get in. How much of everybody knowing and talking under their breath and knowing that this is it for Maneri, how much does that weigh on them to give LSU the nod to have him one last regional, heading to a regional?
I think it's hard to answer that right now because you don't know how the tournaments are going to play out. If the favorites win the tournaments, then you'll be able to get LSU. But if you have a lot of upsets, and then you start to. But that's a hell of a question. I don't know what that perception is.
Well, and that is the deal right there. What I'm talking about, where Mainieri having so many friends and being so likable, and that's part of the reason why I'm always fussing about the media in this city. Never holding their punches, because he is accessible and he is a nice guy and he does answer everybody's calls. I mean, when have you ever been rejected for an interview?
Yeah.
I mean, he just doesn't do it. I mean, he's absolutely been. I mean, look, I don't know that there's been many coaches in any sport at LSU that have been as good with the media as him. I mean, he might be number one. So, but and he's like that regionally, nationally, other coaches. So maybe that factors into it. But then again, like you said, if it gets to a point where there's just a team that's deserving, and you got to make that call. So
two real quick, two projections by different pundits. One sending them as a 3 seed to South Bend and Notre Dame, and one sending them to Louisiana Tech and Ruston as a 3 seed. So we'll see.
Can you imagine Ruston?
Oh yeah, it'd be lit.
Holy smokes!
It'd be lit.
I mean, there's a bunch of LSU fans in North Louisiana would absolutely love that.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt.
And then that's very reminiscent of how Skip went out.
Yeah.
At Tulane. So, hey guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Please share. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you get alerted every time we upload a video. And we upload a ton of them throughout the year. And of course on Facebook, like, share to your timeline. The LSU groups, please do that for me. Let everybody know we're live. We got a nice group in here right now. Our buddy Blake Ruffino at Are You Serious Sports gives us a what's up, everybody. Tony Weaver says, Buddy the GOAT, greatest of all time. Let's see, Blaine Smith. How's it going, guys? Any news on some new offers to recruiting targets? Was making some calls tonight and talking to a few sources, and I'm going to have some stuff on the site, a lot of stuff leading into next week. Certainly camp next weekend is going to be big. Official visitors as well starting off. It's the month of June, and I've been saying it for weeks, and it's like a broken record, but it's going to be around the clock, off the chain. I told a buddy of mine that we always sharing news stories, not sports related. Like, look, bud, help me out through the month of June. Don't send me any texts about this, because every time you send me a text this time of year, I'm worried that somebody's gotten an offer, somebody's about to commit, and I'm having to look at my phone every time it beeps. So I think June is going to be crazy. I think 13 commitments for 22 right now. I do think they're going to be heading towards 20 by Labor Day. And, and then once you get those guys on campus, the ones that you think are maybe going to go the difference, going to take more visits, the fact that they haven't been anywhere because of COVID and they get on campus, I think it's going to be easy for them to close the deal. So I'm really excited about seeing a lot of the kids in areas that I wasn't able to get to last year because of a shortened season. And then I'm hearing some reports of some guys who aren't going to come to camp because they think their film should do the work for them, or some guys that want to come on official visits, but they want to go on days where there's no camp that they think. I don't know that that's the right tack to have, particularly in a year like this.
Well, look, and I think one of the things I really enjoyed this afternoon is not only get ready to watch softball, because baseball has been less entertaining to watch than Beth Karina's Lady Tigers. Once again, they'll host Florida State again tomorrow night at Tiger Park, same time and same station, 6 o'clock for all 3 games if they go 3. But I enjoy it right about this time. You're winding down, the kids are getting off school, everybody's planning their trip to the beach or wherever, and boom, 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 LSU first 3 games in prime time. In case you missed it, Fox is going to have the LSU-UCLA game, 7:30 spot in prime time. So
7:30, that's 5:30 Los Angeles. So that means you're going to get that beautiful sunset.
Absolutely.
While you're in the stadium. And I think that's why everybody's scrambling, because they're picturing that.
You're seriously thinking about going.
Well,
If we could get Jim to answer the phone, we might be able to work a deal.
Yeah, let me tell you what I've been doing for the last 2 days. I've been charting out my fall high school shooting schedule. And, man, there's a bunch of games on that Friday night.
Yeah.
That, man, first of all, you got Madison Prep and Carr. That's going to be huge. Multiple LSU targets.
I'm glad to see that pre-planning like we always talk about. But look, McNeese, interesting thing with McNeese. McNeese is a 7 o'clock start in Tiger Stadium, streaming only. Not SEC Network, not SEC Plus, not ESPN2 or whatever. Streaming, and this is because of Disney. I read the release today. And then, of course, Central Mich in week 3 at 6:30 on the SEC Network. But I think every school, just about every school, is going to have one of their games streamed this year. And I don't necessarily know if I like it, but bottom line is it is where we're going. Networks want to push, as you know, Disney and everybody else. They're pushing that Disney Plus and the digital and streaming.
I got Disney Plus for The Mandalorian, and I thought I'd get it and then cancel after The Mandalorian. And Disney Plus has been incredible.
Yeah.
I enjoy that channel.
So it might be something that you get used to. Of course, we've been used to it with baseball here in the last year or two.
Let's see. Kenny Russell, do you like our chance with Armla and Kelvin Banks as far as the out-of-state recruits? Let's see what happens when they come to camp. I think that's very important and a very good deal that Coach Craig has got them both coming in for official visits. Not only that, that's that first weekend where you've got Banks, Dewberry from Humble, Texas. Got the running back Gibbs from Winter Park. Shamar Stewart, of course, everybody's been talking about all spring, the defensive end from Monsignor Pace and Opelika. And then Armala from Miami Columbus. So that whole weekend is going to be pretty darn big. So you've got the 5th, you've got the O-line, D-line camp, and then you've got the skills camp, and then on Sunday, which the 6th I think is going to be your big one. That's your 7-on-7 and lineman camp. So we're going to see half the battle is getting there for camp, and I think they're going to have some success there. I think LSU's offensive line haul is going to be very, very good. It's already there. You just need to finish in with a couple of kids out of state, and it's going to be a big class. So,
well, we mentioned it, maybe a month ago. They have the bodies. Good. Kudos to Cardell Thomas. Look, he's been sitting in neutral and maybe pondering about what's going to happen, and we're hearing that he's working hard. We know Bradford is going to have a chance to really play if Chase and Hines don't get off the Hines 57 and the French fried potatoes. Then he was playing high 340s last year. They're going to have some more depth, but this is a time, I said it today, man. Look, Tommy Moffitt and those guys, you've got 2 months to get those bellies down, because last year was crazy. They weren't around the training table and all that, and you saw, and you got all those guys back. LSU going to be appreciably better at the line of scrimmage this year, especially on the D-line, Mike.
I think they're hungry. I think they were embarrassed by last season. Of course, they finished with 2 wins, but they were embarrassed, and I like that Vegas comes out and says that it's an 8.5 win season. Of course, you know what they're doing. That's a great place to put it so it can move and they can make some money. But I like that. That's more motivation for them. And then I'm convinced next month that they're going to pick A&M second in the West ahead of LSU.
Absolutely.
So that's even more motivation. And, I'm on board saying a minimum of 10. So
I sold some of those TJ Finley T-shirts that you and Blake had, being the president and the vice president of TJ Finley Club. I sold 50 of those shirts. And I put
Goodwill.
I put 50 down on for you, LSU over 8.5. And can you believe it? Now you know this line is going to move. I don't know if it's legit right now, but LSU is a scant 2-point favorite against UCLA. I haven't bet in 15 to 20 years, and I'm talking like I'm a bet, and I'm probably not. Although we know that the gambling situation and proposition is going to pass in the legislature here soon. But dude, You telling me LSU's not going to win 9 games and they're only favored by UCLA by 2? Whew! We either getting into Beano Cook's peanut butter or those. And I know Blake. Speaking of Blake, but AYS, he constantly talks about this, and I agree with him and to a large extent. There is a lot of disrespect for this football team and program. And
I like it.
I like it too. It's going to make everybody
backs
man up.
against the wall, us against them, all the negativity.
Got to have a chip on your shoshoulder this year, Mike.
I mean, local beat writers taking shots at you. Use it to your advantage.
Cabina?
Shoot, you had another one last week.
Okay, I missed it. So.
Trad Causey. Mike, why didn't Smoke Laval give an interview for Skip's documentary? I was told that 2 people turned him down. Smoke Laval and Albert Bell, and I don't know. You always like a nice story, wouldn't you love to hear at some point over the years that Albert Bell and Skip got together and buried that hatchet? And I mean, heck, you look at Albert Bell now; he's full of gray hair.
He'll never get into the Hall of Fame.
It was a rough patch, and.
But they addressed it in the story and hold the rope.
Yeah,
I mean, Skip did everything that he could to get back and manage that and fix that relationship. Now, Smoke, as most of us know, would love to go to Sammy's. And I always worried about Smoke because the first year, and of course, first of all, can you imagine the size of his onions to be able to say, okay, coach, I will be next after you. Same thing's going to happen when you replace Nick Saban at Alabama. That guy's going to have elephantitis. So bottom line is that that was a gargantuan, incredibly unfair situation, but he adapted to it and he took it. But one of the first years or 2, he goes, I don't want to go on talk radio. He wasn't the people person.
But it's like if you watch that documentary, it's like that era didn't even exist.
Well, and it's because
it was like Paul Maneri was right after Skip. There was nothing in between.
Well, I get spicy, and I tell you stuff, but 5 or 10 minutes later, I'm fine. I can't believe that Smoke still feels like he got the bad end of the deal, but certainly some things had to happen. But yeah, and of course Les was also in that piece, but because of all the things that have come out in the last couple of months.
LSU lucked up. I mean,
you had to clean that up.
The documentary was actually in the can last year, and it was set to air before last year's SEC tournament. And because of COVID and baseball season being canceled, they shelved it. And then when all the Les Miles stuff came out, they were able to go in and edit it and take that stuff out. So I guess that was one positive, because then you wouldn't have that continually airing on a loop for years to come this time of year. I mean, what did we see the other night? We had Thunder and Lightning, the SEC storied about Palmeiro and Will Clark right after the Skip Bertman, and you had the Warren Morris
walk-off.
The walk-off. I love those SEC story documentaries, so I've watched most of them. I think this Skip Bertman one, look, obviously because we're here and we know, and it's for a lot of people, you said there were some moments in it that got to you, and same to me, and I wasn't sitting Sunday night in the vicinity of any Tiger players. Todd Walker, Ben McDonald, saw Blair Barbier. They were all there, and I know that some of those guys sitting at tables had to be crying.
I asked Todd today on the air. I said, Todd, I'm not embarrassed to tell anybody. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there Sunday night, because even when I dress up, I still don't look like Scarborough. He looks pretty good when he cleans up. Bottom line is, a great event. But I had tears 3 or 4 times. It was not sadness. It was the emotion of that time and going back to that memory and going like, wow. You remember where you were when Morris hit the home run, all those special times. Terrio with the helmet going up, Doug Thompson, all of them. Bottom line is,
and the young people.
Walker said he didn't cry, but he said, I looked at it with great pride. So, some were there to tears. Like he said, I felt great pride.
Well,
because it changed his life.
And there's younger people that look at it and, maybe, but what they don't realize is baseball was at the right time, because football was awful.
And basketball at times also.
Yes. So baseball was just everything. And it just was the perfect timing. So you want to talk about the great pride.
Couple other football tidbits real quick to interject. Micah Baskerville is going to be back. He was away for the spring with academics, and looks like he's got all of his ducks in a row. Eric Gilbert, we continue to talk in a positive manner as it looks like he's potentially, you always take it one step at a time.
Our buddy Blake Ruffino had that. He started teasing that last week, and I think you had some other folks out there trying to take credit for it, but he was on it. I mean,
yeah,
he said it. Got word last week that all he needed was 6 hours in summer. So, like I was saying last December, and I think LSU is absolutely was the best route for him to get back on track. They had the right plan in place, and I think a lot of people have been able to read between the lines to know what he's dealing with, and you should be pulling for him, praying for him, and I think all his teammates have embraced him, and they're glad to have him back. So.
Well, it was a complicated situation. It still is. Everybody's praying and hoping that he gets back for a lot of different reasons. But I will say this, Eric. I had the screaming red A just as much as you did when Torrey Carter was playing inside the 10-yard line on the final drive against Missouri. And here's the other thing we interjected here a couple times ago. Those guys, Mike, that signed up to play for LSU last year, you saw the greatest season in the history of LSU football. Entertainment, offensive numbers, scoring numbers, national championship, no SEC team ever 15-0, all that accomplished in 1 year. And all of a sudden, Eric Gilbert saw that, picked LSU over Alabama and Georgia, and everybody said, what? Yeah, I'm going to LSU. He gets here, and you're playing in an incredibly different scenario. The experience they had last year was nothing like what it's going to be this year. So I'm glad that if it works out, he'll get a chance to realize what Saturday night and what big-time LSU and SEC football is really alike, because last year was a mirage.
I want to talk about Pride Roofing. They sponsor us each and every week. Mike Faraday, Alex Martinez. Give them a call, 225-275-2041. See, buddy, I've got it down now.
I'm proud of you.
It's taken me a while. I don't have the steel trap memory like Buddy does, but man, I tell you what. A few Mondays ago, I went and met Mike and Alex out at a place in Head of Island, Remo's bar. It's gonna be called Remo's. I don't think they have the name, but there's an old building out there. If you're familiar with the area, that was an old Floyd Brown's on the river, and they're spending millions on updating this old building. They put in a gas pump where you can swipe your card and get gas on the river 24 hours a day. And bands, they're going to have bands, a restaurant, an outside bar with televisions. And but anyways, Pride Roofing did the amazing steel roof on it, a red roof that you can't miss if you're familiar with the area. And I think we're going to do something out there when that place opens up at the end of July or early August. So they do residential and commercial at Pride Roofing. With the floodwaters last week, they were tearing out homes in Parkview, Shenandoah, all across South Louisiana, back out to those poor folks in the Lake Charles area. But give them a call. Pride Roofing, best warranty on labor of any roofing company in Louisiana. Got enough shingles in that yard to do 150 to 200 homes. They make all their own flashing. There's no builder grade materials, insured bond. And the owners are actually contractors, licensed, insured, the works, and they know what they're doing, and absolutely fantastic people. Of course, Mike Faraday, I grew up with him, vouched for him, LSU grad, Broadmore High School grad, and I think you'll be very happy with them. Call them for your free roof inspection. Tell them you heard about it on TigerBait, and they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value. So you cannot beat that. Give them a call. A lot of LSU fans have jumped on that deal. You're not out anything. Even if you're just thinking you're a year or two away from needing a new roof, have them come out, give you the free roof inspection, and you're going to get free TigerBait. So, and they work with your insurance company, your adjuster. If you have any issues, if you had any hail damage, we had hailstorm a month or so ago, whatever you need, and they're anywhere from Sulphur to Gulf Shores, Alabama, Foley, Gulfport, Biloxi. Real big on the North Shore, Covington, Madisonville, Mandeville. Of course, their main location is in Albany, Been out there, fantastic setup they've got there. So give Pride Roofing a call. Tell them you heard about it on TigerBait, and we thank them for being our major sponsor of the show each and every week.
Job well done is a job done with pride and by pride. And let me tell you, when I knew this company was for real, one of our great listeners, of course, PFM, he's an consummate LSU sports fan and has won my caller of the year a couple of years running. Really, really good, knowledgeable guy. You know, he said, look, I'm going to call Pride Roofing. So make a long story short, folks, he did that. And lo and behold, he did a deal with them. He came out there. I'm not going to show you because I fumbled around. Thank goodness I didn't have any booby pictures in here to show you last week when I was fumbling around to see the roof. But he says, look, bud, man, this was like 8 o'clock in the morning. He said, dude, they tell me they're going to be done at 4:30. He was shocked. First-rate job, nothing but class, professionalism. They are very competitive. As we know, that's a very competitive business.
No doubt.
And so when you talk about doing your job with pride, think about that company, 275-2041.
See, he's the pro. He's been doing radio since the 80s, and he remembers all that stuff, and he gets the cadence and everything. I'm learning my way.
Oh, stop it.
All right, guys, let me see. Let's get some more. Mark Chambers, big thanks to Pride Roofing. Absolutely.
What's up, Frenchie?
Brian and Annie Penton. Whatever happened to Broadmoor football in the 80s and 90s? They were always in the playoffs. It's like a lot of schools. But, you know, I've been mentioning that just from a recruiting standpoint and me doing my job for 25 years. It's staggering to me, the talent in the Baton Rouge area compared to what it used to be. I said a week or so ago on this show that, you know, it used to be the offensive coordinator would get the Baton Rouge area because there really wasn't much to do.
Yeah.
You might have a player at Catholic High, you might, you know, whatever. It was slim. Now, it's like I'm covering kids at schools I've never been to. Woodlawn, Liberty, former Lee High School, Zachary with players every year. So now it's just, you know, Madison Prep, Estruma. I mean, how many, what you know, look at Le'Veon Moss. You know, he's going to be one of your top running backs in the nation. So now we just need, Terra, Glen Oaks, and Broadmoor to step up because we've got Woodlawn and Lehigh. Everybody's getting represented with recruits in recruiting. Those are the only ones. I think Terra had a linebacker that went to Texas Tech about 15 years ago.
But one of the better Broadmoor players, of course, that left the state was Bucky Richardson. And there were some classics. Look, man, Broadmoor and Catholic High and Estruma and Baton Rouge High and all those.
Well, that was our rivalry.
Yeah. So but, it's going to be fun to see how this other thing. Of course, we haven't mentioned the fact that the transfer portal is really going to kick it up a notch. Bam! I don't think any of us right know how fast and furious that is going to be. But that's something to see, and as we said, I always enjoy it about this time of year because I'm transitioning from baseball coverage to talking about football, and it's hard to believe, Mike. We're talking June 1. We're talking 2 months from the start of camp, and I want to say 99 or 100 days from LSU playing in the Rose Bowl. So 7:30 in Fox. I'm going to watch it on the TV. I did make the trip to Lambeau, which was a bucket list trip. But I'm hoping that a lot of fans make it out there that first weekend.
Yeah, so if some of you guys have booked airfare for that trip, post in the comments section what kind of rates you're getting. I'm real curious to know what that round trip to Los Angeles is running, particularly with gas prices right now. So, yeah. Russ Longway, I missed the beginning of the show, but how was football conditioning today? Have you heard anything? I have not heard anything.
Football conditioning today?
Yeah. Was there some tests being run?
Well, look, they just got the freshmen in here, and I'm sure they're doing the conditioning test. And look, you happen to see Jacob Cotrera at the softball regional last week, and I remember one of the years. I don't know if it was Jacob's first year or the second year. And man, look, Moffitt was running him so much. I think Jacob told all of us in the media. He said, "Man, I threw up so much that first day or two." It is some that have been doing the work, obviously, are going to get right in. We know the Sage Ryans, and it looks like all of the DBs coming in. Some of the guys coming in before. But I feel sure that LSU is going to be fast and fit.
But, you know, and that was, you know, that was somewhat, well, maybe not Contreras era, but today's high schools and their strength and conditioning programs, I don't think they're so far ahead to where things used to be. Man, I was on the road throughout earlier this month, and seeing the guys at Carr, and they had a spring game that went 3 hours. It was insane.
Yeah.
Madison Prep, I ain't never seen a high school work as hard as them, and those two teams are going to face each other in week 1. Of course, Highs, they all got great weight rooms. They all got strength and conditioning coaches that know what they're doing. So that's why you got so many freshmen that come in and look the way they do. But yeah, we already know what Mason Smith looked like in spring. And I'm told Savion Jones looked fantastic early in the week. We saw some of the images, and of course, Sage Ryan, Langlois, and many others. I like the way Chris Hilton looked. So it's going to be, then you're just trying to figure out how many freshmen are going to have an impact, how many are going to see the field, and in what capacity. It's going to be very difficult because LSU's got a lot coming back. So
yeah.
Let's see.
Don't forget about those 2 running backs. I really think that it might take a while, but I think Corey Kiner and Armani Goodwin are going to have niches in this LSU offense. We always have this discussion, Mike. Want to have one guy just step out there and win the job. I'm of the belief I like running back by committee. Number one, you sell it. You don't go to the league with your tires burnt. Everybody's going to get a chance to play, and you're going to work on all the things. You may find the best pass catcher on 3rd downs. You may have the best yardage guy. We know that TDP and John Emery have had their moments, but I had a guy worried about running backs today on the show. I said, look, man, those guys were all hurt. They're going to be fine come fall with running backs.
They've got numbers there.
Yeah.
Esteban, I would love to have Gilbert back, but I would hate for him to come back and get the starting role right out the gate. I feel like it'd be damaging to the team morale. He has to earn it back. Well, when do you earn it back? This time of year. Showing up, working out, outworking everybody, being a role model, doing everything you're supposed to do, going to class, having to take extra courses in order to get eligible to work your way back. And I also think his teammates know what he's dealing with. And so I don't think that's an issue at all. I think they want who's going to give them the best chance to win, and he's a difference maker. So
look, Cole is going to play a bunch. Nick Storrs is nicely rounded into a guy that they can rely on. It's a position of need. You got Max Johnson, his brother, coming in, Jake. But listen, what Cole Taylor's asked to do and what Eric Gilbert's asked to do is going to be 2 different things. And they're going to play 1 tight end sometimes and 2 tight ends sometimes. And so I don't worry about that, Esteban. I think, as you alluded to, the one group you don't fool the players.
Yeah,
they know.
Michael Sutherland, is Buddy taking Haniger's job? No, they that rumor was out there last week, and we had some fun with it. You hear Buddy on the TuneIn app every day from 1 to 3 o'clock. So check him out. And it's my understanding they're going to have a new show with the guy that's the Spanish voice and one of the producers as well. So I think that's going to start next week. So I think there's going to be a lot of people want to listen to that and give that show a chance. So
I think they probably want to. They're looking for the 28 to 49 or whatever age group, and we'll see. I still have my loyal listeners, and I appreciate each and every one of them. But look, I'm riding out to the sun. I enjoy doing these little things with Mike, and we do a little TV and internet and radio and all that. But once again, I couldn't fill Charlie's shoes. He's pretty special.
Kenneth Haines, softball game, lost game 1 to Florida State. Now our back is against it to get to Oklahoma City. Also adds 2 real teams in Hoover tonight, tied at 2 in the 3rd.
That's Vanderbilt and Arkansas, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's who that is. Listen, don't give up on the Lady Tigers, but I got to tell you, you and I were watching the last inning over here. When I got over here, I watched it at my house, and I watched Florida State score in the top of the 6th, and I said, okay, this is a good time to come over. And lo and behold, I think LSU only had 2 hits. They had a couple balls that were hit. LSU shortstop is probably telling everybody I should have taken that yard, and she went deep to the warning track, another ball deep. But she was phenomenal tonight. Sinceri gave up 1 run. They lose 1-zip. You got to go back and do it. And look, one game at a time. I mean, you win game 2, then, it's all for the marbles. You don't win tomorrow night, it's over.
Former LSU softball coach Yvette Girard invited me last week to be her guest at the game against the Cajuns on Saturday, and I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it. First of all, it's sitting next to a Hall of Fame coach, and she's giving me the 411 of what I'm looking at, and but just the atmosphere out there. I like the speed of the game. The girls are energetic. Of course, there's a real festive atmosphere out there. Great weather. The wind was blowing in. I didn't even break a sweat. I mean, it's just a great ballpark, and but yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I like how quick softball is.
Well, I like it. It's a fast-paced game. Those athletes are very, very good. And Beth Torina, if you're a softball fan, she needs you out there. Really
They're sold out.
I know, but there was still some empties.
Yeah.
You could have had it a little more packed, and that's something we'll discuss as we get into summer. Or you're going to see everybody flock back to go to the actual games in the stadium. I looked at my notes. LSU had 71,000 season tickets after the 19 season. Okay? So into 2020, I don't remember the percentage that opted out. You may know. I don't know. But I'm just asking you, you think they're going to get back 71,000 season tickets?
Yeah.
I don't.
Really?
No, because it made it too easy to stay at the house and barbecue, have your own bathroom, not have to drink and drive, all those waiting in traffic, social media and internet. I mean, look.
But here's the thing. I see that. I agree with that. But, man, there's a whole lot of people who are just...
They're chomping at the bit.
They're chomping at the bit to get out and have activities.
Sure.
So there's a double... If someone's going to drop it, there's going to be someone to pick them up. Now, if it's wholesale, like you said, then they're going to have to get real creative to get people in the stands. And they say most athletic directors in the SEC wish they hadn't built stadiums this big.
Yeah.
They wish they would have, let's say in LSU's case, maybe kept it at 90,000.
With more suites.
But with more suites. And, and is that something that they try to do later on in the future if they do anything there? But anyways, I just think everybody's just so glad to get back to normal and get out and do things. I know I am. I'm watching the concert wire. I'm wanting to get out and go see live music
But college football attendance in-house has declined 4 or 5 straight years.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that's interesting.
But they're still making money, and the suites are going to be sold out. But what are they going to do with the empty seats? Do they have to get creative? Do we start seeing promotions that we've never seen before?
Yeah.
So
well, look, once Scott Woodward gets that new baseball coach in there, they will go to work. And of course, they did have a March deadline, but I think they're going to have a marketing thing to try to get people back. Look, I agree with your point. People are chomping at the bit to get back out. But once again, I had a lot of people that said, "Man, he sure made it easy to opt out again." So we'll see. There's always we know LSU football and disposable income, and pretty much in this town, if you're a sports fan, is number 1 on your list.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You might even be a basketball fan, but football usually is your priority season tickets. If you got a little money and you love being able to go out there, you got basketball and baseball. We know that they've got their fan bases. And guess what else now? I spent $100, and you and Taylor Sharp now each have season tickets to go see Kim Mulkey in year 1.
There you go.
There you go. I got it coming to you in the mail.
And I'm still thinking that Mulkey's teams outdraw the men in December.
Holy cow! By the way,
I think there's going to be that much excitement for Kim Mulkey. Certainly, opening night's going to be packed. I don't care who. I don't even know who they're playing first.
Well, they haven't released.
It could be Louisiana College.
They haven't released the schedule yet.
It's going to be whatever. But
outdrawing the pair and the men.
I think.
Wow.
What does he think of that nickname?
I don't know, but I don't know if you saw the thing with Chris Blair in the BMW.
Do you know he's running 6 miles a day?
Yeah, I know that, and look, I enjoyed the heck out of that. Maybe you and I can ride around in the Honda.
Kenny said he enjoyed it too.
Yeah, but I don't know right now about attendance, and I do know Mulkey's going to kick it up appreciably. And
I think they're over 4,000 now. New
look,
season tickets.
I think we even said it. You're
mean,
going to have over 5,000 a game in there from the start, and you're going to have a sellout.
That's why I think I'm not saying the whole season.
December.
I'm just saying December. I think that they'll actual attendance. I'm not going to say paid.
Yeah. Well, I'm just excited.
I wonder if they'll give us actual.
I'm just excited about the direction of LSU athletics. And as you go fast forward, I think you, me, Blake, everybody else that I've talked to is expecting minimum 9, and certainly an average of people I talked to, 10 wins. Preseason anywhere from 12 to 15. Going to be picked behind Bama and A&M in the West, which I think is great, great fodder. Right. To motivate you. Georgia's going to be picked in the East, and we know Kirby still is called by me. Kirby, I'm not so smart. He's 0-2 against Orgeron. And Georgia, those folks, until he wins one, will never get off his back. And then you got both basketball programs that are on the uptick, and I really expect the PMAC to be rocking for both ladies and men. And then you're going to have a new baseball coach, which is going to be a breath of fresh air. So really, for you Tiger fans, this 21 into 22 could really be excellent. And you know what? After the hell that we've all been through, whether it be the loss of life or the flooding, once again, God bless all those people who got flooded again after 16. I was fortunate enough not to be involved with it, and you were either, and I did get hit on the freeze, but to get flooded again, I'm just saying we're praying for you, and just hang in there, because tough times don't last, but tough people do, and that was pretty disgusting for some of them.
Thomas Schrader, what's up with Eric Gilbert? We talked about that earlier in the show. Word is he only needs 6 hours, which is 2 courses in summer school, to be eligible to play in the fall, and so it's looking darn positive for him right now. So let's see what we got. Pat Mashburn says he would like to see a one-on-one game between Mulkey and Will Wade. I imagine Kim Mulkey can still drain it. Let's see.
She was a phenomenal ball player, and I think we forget about being in the Olympics. And of course, look, man, when you start talking about what everybody's been through, and then the positive karma, Kim Mulkey being inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame, and then for my golf fans that are north of 50, Phil Mickelson winning the PGA, who would have thunk it? And then, of course, hold the rope. I mean, it's all building up for some positive stuff, because as we know, let's be honest, and we talked about it, when LSU's winning athletics, you're in traffic jam out here on Stumberg, hey, oh, come on in.
Tyler,
you lose?
Tyler Azan says, I can bet Sage Ryan sees some playing time this year, eventually win the starting nod. Next year, at safety, Jay Ward moves back to nickel. I like to see Matthew get some PT as well. Both kids are heavy hitters. Sure sounds to me like your starting safeties could very well be Major Burns and Jay Ward this upcoming football season. So a lot of excitement with Major Burns being there already. So,
and Derek Davis was here in the spring. Sage Ryan and Langlois coming in.
Get Todd Harris back.
Todd Harris got to get back from injury. Cam Lewis is a guy that's been around. I think, to me, if you ask me, that's the question mark I want to see answered early on. What are the safeties going to look like? I do love the movement of Jay Ward to the nickel safety.
Paul K. from YouTube. Does anyone else feel that as a whole, this is the least productive athletic year in the last 20 years? I realize recruiting and Mulkey relieve the sting, but no, you're not wrong, Paul. I mean, it was if you just want to just say, well, we were just glad we had some football, even though it was awful to watch at times. Then you had all the off the field stuff. Maybe you think basketball could have done a little bit more damage, but we're missing some pieces. Baseball, of course, hasn't been what anybody wants. And so, of course, you got, I guess it is a mixed bag.
Well, that's why I just painted the picture that I did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was talking about.
Right.
You have a chance. Now, look, track and field, Dennis Shaver is going to have a chance to win either the men or the women's championship. But no disrespect to track and field. But it's not the pop around town when they win one of those. Versus, and they've never won one in softball. And we know they've never won a game in men or women's basketball in the Final Four. And you're not going to win one in baseball this year. So as you flip the calendar, that's what I was trying to get to, Paul. This was a stinker, but you had the pandemic, and we survived it. And I think the good times, what do they say? Let the good times roll. I think it starts September 4th. And I'm going to put a darn $50 bill down on LSU -2 for you.
I could get that phrase. I could get that phrase out a little bit better when I was living in Lafayette, but after 4 years back in Baton Rouge, it doesn't come out well anymore. Dane Bergeron, the issue that plagues LSU football attendance is parking and getting out after games.
No doubt. There's no doubt that people are tired of sitting after 20 years of going. They want to drive out there and look at the guy next to you, Mike, and say, hey, man, they fixed the traffic. Oh, we're doing contraflow. Remember that year?
But what Dane's saying is also generational. When I was 28 years old, I didn't complain about it.
I know.
And I would always say, man, when I get older, I'm not going to be like that. And yeah, you get there. You're just like, you got to go to the bathroom, whatever it is. You're hungry, whatever you got to do at home. The dog's got to get let out. Everything stacks up on you. But your younger crowd, that's not going to be an issue for them. And then, of course, I'm in the press box. So by the time we get all our work done and I come out, it's all cleared out.
Well, that's why I don't go anymore. I used to sit really in good seats, and then I started getting moved. And now I'm about at the goal line in the press box, and I'm seeing one game. I enjoy watching everybody else play as well as LSU, and I get a better idea, I think, about how they stacked up on that given Saturday. That all being said, I do think Scott Woodward does need to work on concessions. Aramark has been very disappointing. I mean, we've got the greatest food in the country to most people, and yet you go to the box or Tiger Stadium or the PMAC, and it's not even close to what kind of food we serve in this city.
If you're a high up TAF person and you're in the suites or you're in the,
it's not a problem.
They're carving roast beef. You can dip your hand into a freezer and get all the ice cream sandwiches you want to eat, mixed drinks, the works. But I mean, I think Tiger Stadium, they've got Chick-fil-A out there. You can get jambalaya. They've got a lot of stuff there. Now, I did think softball wasn't as, softball was still popcorn and, Skittles. And I think softball could probably ramp up what they're doing a good bit. But that's probably a deal where it's, how much does the outside group, I'm just going to say Chick-fil-A again. What does a Chick-fil-A have to pay in a softball game? Is it worth it to them? The amount of fees they've got to pay LSU in order to be there versus how many, sandwiches they can sell.
Well, this answer to this question because, when I was still going over there, the cell service and social media struggled. Have they gotten any better with that, or is that still? I love when you and Preston do your little chat and walk to the cars, and I enjoy that very much as one of the features here on TigerBait. But man, if the students can't get on their phones and do this and this and this, and you have all that problem with service, and then you throw in parking, and you throw in a team that went 5-5, that's why it's going to be interesting to see if everybody comes back in droves.
Right, and that's watching that Las Vegas stadium get built, and Cox was wiring it. That's where it's going to. And yeah, but that's expensive, and then you got to have your partner, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, you got to have them come in and have the Wi-Fi towers for all that. I haven't had that, big of a problem, but.
Well, I got AT&T, you got Verizon, and I think Verizon has worked better in the stadium than AT&T.
I switched from Sprint to Verizon probably 10, 12 years ago, and I'd never look back.
Yeah.
Let's see. Carl Dunn, Carl the Cat. Contra flow is contra poo.
Carl the Cat, I'm not going to diss him tonight. Hey, all honesty, Carl the Cat, I'm looking into the camera. One of the greatest LSU fans that I have met. You got Chico Moore, who had the purple and gold limo. You had Big Ragu, who had the club. You got Chris Guillot, who you rubbed elbows with at the airport when Kim Mulkey was coming in. you got the K lady, you got all these incredible fans, Knucklehead the Birdman, all these, but Carl the Cat, man, hey, and you know the thing he does best? Figures out a way to get on TV. You never seen him on TV?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I mean, he didn't pay Jacques Doucet and Cobble and all these guys. Everybody loves Carl the Cat. And when I get out of radio and internet,
Well,
I'm
he's
going to do.
He's stealth.
Yeah.
That's why he's Carl the Cat.
Yeah, he is Carl the Cat. You are the man.
Paul, PFM.
Yeah.
Coming in late, guys. Did y'all discuss the LSU announcement today? Masks on campus, including outdoors and crowds. Is that for?
Paul's been busy, but I think
I do think that is for school. Didn't they do something for on-campus classes?
Yeah. That's look. Thank goodness we don't.
Yeah, and
have
that'll
to,
be right next when you walk through the quad, and you've got the safe space in the left corner, and the other safe space, and they'll have counselors at each of the exits. They'll have all that.
I think
I
think he's messing with you, but look.
No, I don't think he is. I saw that.
You saw something? Okay,
Yeah,
well, I apologize, but I know this. They opened it up to 100% and no mask in baseball. I don't know why football would be any different.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Paul is one of those, and I don't know how.
That'll be at the Bob Mann safe space.
Well, but what I was going to say, I don't know how many people would say, if you make me wear a mask, I am not going to the game, because that would certainly hurt attendance.
Yeah. Boy, don't make me.
But I'm sorry. I'm done with the mask, and I don't want to. I don't know if he's messing with me or not, but I do.
No, he's not. I did see that.
Well, wait. Why did they say that after they did that with baseball with 100% no mask? I don't understand. Same thing. Look at softball.
No, but
there wasn't any mask.
It's
in
not
softball.
sporting events. It's classes.
Okay, classes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. I tell you what. Y'all do me a favor. Go to TigerBait.com. Please subscribe. We're about to load you up with recruiting stuff next week, starting with the camps. That your head's going to spin. You're going to get text alerts when there's new offers that go out, when kids earn them at camp. You're going to get the breaking news commitment text alerts. I'm going to have live camp threads on our premium message board. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. $1 gets you on the site for a week. And as I always say, choose the annual package. When you do that, you basically save 3 months versus going monthly. We would love to have you as a premium subscriber on TigerBait, and we're about to be super busy. This is absolutely the calm before the storm. So we would love to have you as a part of our TigerBait community. And again, if you liked our show tonight, please like and share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And on Facebook, please do the same. So thanks to Buddy for being a part of the show tonight. Thanks to Pride Roofing for sponsoring. And we'll be back next week previewing a big camp weekend and a lot more. And maybe we'll have some. We'll either be talking about how LSU didn't get in a regional or how they've gotten into a regional, and any rumors about baseball coaching and this and that. So it's going to be we're going to have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks.
Well, hold on. I'm just getting warmed up. We shutting it down already?
Oh, yeah, man. We're going a full hour.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you
Time
what,
flies.
this guy's something. All right, let's put our reputations here on the line. Monday, you asked me the question if there will be a sentimental vote for LSU and Paul Mainieri getting in. So I'll go ahead and say, I'll go ahead and go first. Originally, I thought they were going to be sent to Notre Dame, with going full circle with Paul Mainieri. But now I think that I'm going to go ahead and say LSU is going to be a 3 on Monday, going to Ruston.
I like it. That's fine. But yeah, I know there's still some teams that you're watching that as they win, it's hurting LSU's RPI. I think, what did I see?
27 on the RPI
Was it
today.
something Air Force did last weekend hurt LSU? I mean, there's been some things happening, so we'll see how it plays out. I do tend to think that the Paul Mainieri factor could help LSU if it's them and another team for that last spot. But depending on who you look at, LSU's either the fourth team in, fourth to last team in, or the third. But does that keep getting worse and worse as more games are getting played?
And don't forget, support Beth Arena and Lady Tigers. They need you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on ESPN, just like tonight. It is win or go home. They have played Florida State a bunch here. Both the other 2 times we're in Tallahassee. Need the crowd and got to get some hits going on, and stay safe. And summertime, we're going to be rocking and rolling. We hope you are as well. And once again, Mike, enjoy hanging out with you here. I just thought we would go a couple hours today, but we'll go maybe 2 hours next time.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for being with us. Go subscribe to TigerBait. We want to have you. We'll talk next week. Good night.